And we are back. For those of you who just saw our commercial from Movies on Glass, glasses are freaking awesome. I know they're not inexpensive, and if you do buy them during the convention, use the discount code STO-CON for Star Trek Online Convention. But if you've ever been to a convention, you notice the stuff that you get there is not the commercial stuff. This stuff tends to be higher quality, custom made. Think memorabilia versus mass produced. And I cannot afford to buy the glasses. I'm still going to buy my set of the glasses for myself. Especially, I love that Klingon one with the red Klingon logo on it. That thing is gorgeous. And there's one that looks like it's steel, but it's actually frosted, and they just had a dark liquid in it, so it looks like that cool metal look.
But they're expensive, like $40.
Yeah. Honestly, that's for that level of quality of stuff, they are expensive and they're worth it. But like I said, when you go to a convention, that's the kind of quality of stuff you frequently find, as opposed to the ones that have got like a decal on them. These are reversed, frosted, or etched, or whatever he does, but dagnabbit. Anyway, I'm going to definitely get myself some.
What annoys me is that they don't write if they ship it to other countries than the US. They don't even write that on their page.
You know what? If he doesn't, I've got his contact information because he and I have been talking a lot, and I can find out, and certainly he can ship it to me and I can ship it to you, Pi. But I would think that he'd be able to. It's just shipping. It's not shipping alcohol or anything.
No, I know. It's just normally on on pages they write that,
Well, he's an Etsy vendor, but yeah, do you want me to give you his contact information when we're done here?
Yeah.
And you can get in touch with him?
I must admit, I love the Klingon glasses.
Yeah, isn't it awesome? He's got a lot of other ones, too.
And the Quark Spar is also quite cute.
Oh, my God, it is. I used to go to the Experience back in the day, so that tells you how old I am. And they had those glasses, and they were for sale. And I didn't buy any, and I'm kind of kicking myself, but now I can go back and get them. So that's kind of cool. But holy moly, those things are cool. So, yeah, thank you to Movies on Glass for being one of our commercials here. We have two companies that actually created a commercial for the convention, so I would love to see them do well through us, because not that I want to have a huge vendor aspect of it, but conventions have a lot of things where 50% of your time is in the vendor hall.
Oh, the fireworks is out if you don't have that accolade.
I don't have it. I'm going. Quickly, Mom. Just realized that my hovercraft isn't going to get there in time. All right, let's see if we can... I did. Ooh.
I see you.
Maybe I've seen them already. Is this the onlooker accolade?
Yeah, I think it is.
But
normally I go to the other side of the water.
Oh, I usually go where these people are standing here looking.
Okay, I got it yesterday by standing, at where the three people are sitting close to the water. Opposite.
I've gotten it a couple of places. Oh well.
Like here. This is where I got it yesterday.
Oh,
standing here.
Okay. Well, it's done for the moment. So while we're at it, though, let's go ahead and check on Makbara plus...
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to pop in 27 minutes.
They spawn every 2 hours at the 30-minute mark and then stay there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's the same... Okay. So every 2 hours at the 30-minute mark. So at 10:30 we'll go over there and see if they are there. Then if they're not, we'll go over at 11:30. Okay, so as promised, we were going to talk about epic or epic fail for TFOs. Certainly a hot topic, in my opinion. What do the accolades do for you? Not a gosh darn thing, Smokey. Not a thing. They're just there. They're just fun. I'm a completionist. I must have all tribbles. I'm a completionist. I must do all episodes. I'm OCD. I must do all episodes in order. I must have all accolades. But it doesn't actually do anything for you.
Maybe you'll get a title.
Okay, that is...
some of the kill accolades actually give you a passive boost to something sometimes.
Right. Absolutely. And there are titles that go with it that you can select if you want them. But it doesn't give you... Oh, okay. Taco Pita says getting Master Relaxer unlocks the Rizian Duffs. You definitely want to do it because there are Rizian Duffs you can get over at the Promenade. And I haven't unlocked it on this tune. I've unlocked it on my other tunes, but not here. But we'll stay on this tune for the moment. So we're going to talk epic or epic fail on TFOs because we're going through them. Yeah, TFOs have changed. We're mentioning that TFOs used to be STF, Special Task Forces. And let's just say there's more than a few TFOs out there. And it is always changing. Things are getting taken out as they become unpopular or untenable or don't fit the story arcs. They're getting updated. Thank you very much for whoever updated the recent Borg ones, because they are a heck of a lot of fun. Some are definitely tied to storylines. Breach, for example, was tied to an event for sure that stuck around. Crystalline Catastrophe was an event where the event's gone for the most part, but the TFO stuck around. Obviously, right now we're going through the 3 patrols, which aren't really a TFO. The patrols are just taking little chunks out of missions and throwing them in as a quick patrol. And they're fine. Nothing wrong with that. It gave us some short content. So let's start out. Do we want to do these separately by space and ground or just go through them alphabetically?
That's up to you.
Okay,
I have opinion about everything.
Yeah, okay, let's go alphabetically for the moment. And we're going to start out with Arena of Sompek. And we're talking about the quality of the TFO in terms of workable, unworkable, funness, things like that. Is there something inherent in it that makes it impossible to do if you don't go in with a prepared team? For example, there's a couple here where if you go in with just a pug, forget it, it's not going to happen. So, Arena of Sompek, and we're not talking the event on the 7-round or that you can kind of AFK, but the real one, the one that can go over. Can it go over 100? Is there a limit to it?
Yes, but yes, it can go. The longest run that has been done in public had 1,337
Holy criminy.
rounds. Yes, they wanted to spell lead in Sompek letters.
Oh, God. What do the Rizian Doffs do? What are they good for? There's a bartender. Is there a counselor? I know there's a bartender. We can do this over there just as easily. Hold it, this tune doesn't have them. Gosh darn it. I can't tell you because this tune can't access them because she's not a master relaxer. Let me switch accounts here. Let's go with Katha. While you're all thinking about why you like Arena of Sompek, why you hate Arena of Sompek, I have not played it to 1,000, but that's pretty damn funny. Excuse me, pretty darn funny. Pretty gosh darn funny. So here we are on the Promenade. Providing that you've achieved your Master Relaxer accolade, title, whatever you want to call that, which for the most part is pretty fun. You should be able to come over here and see this nice person and see what you can get. So we've got a con officer for boost after exiting evasive maneuvers. These cost Lala, not favors. We have entertainers. Oh, there we go. 2 entertainers. And we have geologists. Boy, this is slow today. There we go. Okay, it says geologist, but it doesn't like me having geologists. Let's try that. Okay, so there's a blue and a purple one. Root foes affected by your exothermic conduction field. So it gives you some minor boosts. Are they fabulous? No. Okay, the entertainer grants a temporary bonus to dodge for anyone who spends a short time dancing under your subspace party amplifier. Okay, that's potentially useless.
It's a cool way to make people insult you. My opinion on Zompek, it's great if you are prepared for it, and it's fun if you are prepared for a TFO that can run very long. It's nothing for short action, quick price, and the like. It's something. If you want to do it for the honor, then Zompek is your thing. And if you are really good, okay, the rewards are nice, and you get rewards. The better you are, the more rewards you get. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. If you go in
But
with
I do not play it on a regular basis, maybe once a year or so when I'm in the mood for it. Because it's, when you want to do it right, it's tough.
Yeah, you got to go in with a team that's prepared. And I've done it with you once, and I know we broke 70. We may have broken 100 when I did it with you. And we went in prepared, but after we were in there a good 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And at that point, you actually are getting physically tired of sitting there through the mission or through the TFO. It just plays for a long time.
Yeah, it's a yes. Be prepared for what. Be prepared for it, and yeah, it's a challenge of its own.
It is. Rasul, did you want to join us? Don't see you in chat, but if you want to join us, let me know. Yeah, it is an infinite battle. With a great team, it's great. It does, however, get physically tiring just to... No, not in Sompek. I'm not doing Sompek today. We'll do Sompek another day. This weekend, I'm not actually doing things. We're just doing discussions about the TFOs. So, on a scale of white, green, blue, purple, ultraviolet, or gold, what's Sompek?
My opinion, gold.
With a proper team, gold. With an unprepared team, ugh.
Even with an unprepared team, so long as you're having some buffs for the team and having fun, it's still ultraviolet, in my opinion.
With a team that isn't in it for having fun, and again, why would you ever go into Arena of Sompek as a pug? An unlimited game like that, I would never do as a pug, but I would certainly do it with people I know. It's a blast. What do you need to research stuff in R&D areas as a person to buy from? What do you need to research stuff in R&D area as in person to buy from the exchange? Oh, are you looking for specific people to do crafting, Smokey? Okay, can you guys give me a second here? There is a website that's got the names of who you want for different projects.
Is it Silmark who's the Aegis, right? And then
Yes.
do you have the Gem Hadar that can do something?
There's like 40 of them, 40 specific ones. And somebody put together a really nice one. Is it Gamepedia? Nope, it's not the Gamepedia. The Gamepedia doesn't have a really good listing. Geez, I want to say it's Reddit. Come on, somebody has a beautiful list of all of them. This is a really old list here. Nope, that's not the one I want. Ivo sent me a really great list of it. It was a spreadsheet. Fine, go away. I can't type this morning, apparently. Okay, so here's R&D officers by school. Go. And there's another one too that's actually better. Let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, this is the one I like. It's R&D Doffs Get Schooled. It's from Reddit, but I really like this one for the content and the way it's laid out. So both of those should be able to help you out in finding the ones you really want. Okay, so we've decided Arena of Sompek. Epic. Assault on Terek Nor, and everybody gets to play this relatively frequently because it does come up as an endeavor.
Well, if you could actually ensure that Lita shuts them out, I would actually give an epic.
I think that's kind of the
Because
game.
it is a fun map.
It's old DS9, so I can't imagine trying to play it on new DS9 where it's so cramped.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
And again, without a proper team, yeah.
Especially when you're doing the consoles. I mean, you could do the first two sequences, they're just pew-pew sequences. But when you get to the third one, and you have to hit the consoles in order, I ran it with somebody the other night, and we were teamed, and I know the consoles, and I can do them. But for the first time, the rest of the team wasn't keeping the enemies at bay, so everything was hitting the center of that corridor.
Yeah.
And it's really tough to dodge all of that, remember where you're at and what you're going for when you're taking a lot of hits. And thank goodness one of the other team members who wasn't in our conversation was able to get the consoles, because we were 3 minutes in and I still hadn't hit it. I'd hit it 3 times and kept getting knocked out and having to start over. With a great team. I love it. I wouldn't put it at epic because there's still some glitches to it where if you come in at the transporter rather than going straight down to Quarks, sometimes you're locked out of it. And that's an error on their part that hasn't been fixed, but it's not consistent, so who knows why that happens. What do you guys think? Assault on Terek Nor.
And then the last boss fight, if you constrain her or something, she doesn't move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple.
Purple.
Yeah.
Awesome with a good team, horror with an average.
Yes. Hey,
if your own build is good enough, then you can easily keep the grenades over the rest of the team, and someone usually does the consoles, and then it's just fine.
well, I think with the
Again,
For the average player, I agree, it's purple.
one thing with the final fight, though, with Lita is whoever she decides to focus on for the attack, and sometimes you can't draw her fire, she just picks on somebody, that person's got to think to pull her onto the platform, and the other people have to realize that they have to respond to that. Sometimes you can't plan it.
It plays well if you are in voice chat,
It
but
plays
a
great in
TFO
voice
should
chat.
never be that way.
Yeah, it
So
plays great in
purple
voice
only.
chat. Yeah, otherwise you've got to pay a lot of attention. I don't know that I'd even give it purple. As a pug, if you know what you're doing, blue. As a team, I'd go with purple to... Yeah, I'd go with purple. Maybe ultra, but probably just purple. Okay.
Yeah, actually, with a good team, I would easily give it an ultraviolet. And with a puck, if your own build is good enough, then it's still ultraviolet. If your own build isn't good enough, then yeah, it drops down significantly quickly.
I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
the builds in it. I have an issue with the work. This is one where you've got to have a team to be able to get everything accomplished in a timely fashion.
Not really. For example, in that canyon, I can completely ignore all the damage that's coming. I can just ignore it. They can't.
Can
simply
we?
can't harm me.
Okay. It's. I would say yes. Purple. Not better. Not worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, purple. Okay, atmosphere assault.
This one is sad.
That is fighting the Alachis with a shuttlecraft on some planet. I love the idea of being in the atmosphere. It's
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I
Were you defending
actually-
that city?
yeah, I love the concept, but the execution bites.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Oh, and
Isn't it also one of the first TFOs really they made?
no.
No.
It's-
This is definitely not one of the oldest.
Yeah, it's
Definitely not.
it's like 3 or 4 years in when we started really doing shuttlecraft, as maybe even later than that. But the thing is, having a good shuttle build, one, okay, so that can be resolved if you know you're going to go into it. But that means the whole team has to have a good shuttle build too, because if you're the only one with a good build, there's so many targets you can't take them all out. And they are throwing everything at you. You've got the little fighters, you're trying to take down the walkers. It's... ugh, I don't like that one.
Yeah, I give it a green.
Yeah, I'm going to go green with it too. Ed has better...
It's a nice concept, but the execution is not perfect.
I think it needs some tweaking because, like I said, it's kind of fun. I think that's why To Hell with Honor was another one I enjoyed. We're doing closer to the ground fighting, so you get more of the feeling of being in a plane versus being in a starship. But that one works really, really, really well. Atmosphere Assault, I love the map. I don't love the shuttles.
I like shuttles.
I know you like shuttles. You have good shuttle builds.
My blue is biased.
You're allowed to have biased opinions. You don't have to make them. I'll try it again. If I get a team with the decent shuttles, maybe if they do another shuttle weekend, or maybe we have a fleet shuttle weekend, or something like that. That would be fine. And then we can talk about builds. We do what we used to do with Ron and talk about builds. Everybody tweaks it up, and then we go off and we do it. Do some more tweaking, go off and try it again. Nothing wrong with that.
The best shuttle build I've seen so far essentially use all the consoles to summon minions.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going with between a green and a blue on Atmosphere Assault. Azure Nebula Rescue. Long story. Azure Nebula Rescue used to be one of the few ways that you could get, what was it, Nukara marks?
Yes.
Yeah. And can you, yeah. It was one of the few. If you're decently equipped on a solo, you can hold your own. You won't necessarily get the objectives if you're working independently. But I used to run it a lot, and lately I'll still run it when it's an endeavor, but I won't necessarily jump into doing it because there's easier ways to get Tholian marks, so I might do it to get Tholian ships. But the problem is, in my opinion, you have to get 10 points in each of the 2 rounds, but if they don't give you 10 points of options, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And there are more than a few times where we've gotten, the 1s and the 2s, but not enough to make 10 points. And then the next time I go back and we only get 5s. I appreciate it needs to be random, but it needs to be mathematically possible to get 10 points.
I remember once I did one, and I think all of them were just, I think we got 1s, and was it 1, 2?
Yeah, I was on that one
During
with
those
you.
2 or 4 minutes, and it's just like, how are we supposed to get 10?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily spawn fast enough, and when it does spawn, it doesn't necessarily spawn with 10 points.
Indeed.
So I'm going to put that one down as a white just from the glitches. I used to love it, now it just glitches too much.
Yeah, it gets a
I wouldn't
green
say
from
it's
me.
a glitch, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's a glitch. They should just make it like you said, mathematically possible to get it.
Yeah, if they
I
don't...
think the easiest change would be to simply start each of those intervals for 10 points with a 5.
Yeah,
And then leave the rest as it is.
Yeah, make sure there's 1 5 in every 10-minute round.
White.
Yeah.
Bad metering. White, you are at the you depend on the grace of RNGs. White.
Yeah, actually I agree. I downscale from green down to white.
Yeah, and it's funny because I actually like it, and it's an old one. I like doing the Romulan aspect of it, but the math problem screws it up for me.
You know what? I'm not even going to say white. I'm going to say standard issue.
Standard issue is white.
Yes, but it's
Because
below
uncommon
white,
is not standard, so common, standard issue is white.
Let's put it this way. He's got it as standard issue because it's got no value even if you discard it.
So true.
Battle at the Binary Stars, which we've all played to death.
I can't even remember it. Battle of
That's
Binary.
when you're a holographic ship and you're going in and you have to fight to Kuvma.
The most epic destruction of a ship in a cutscene, maybe, or something, and I give it a blue plus.
Blue plus, wow. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in that area. My issue with it is, it would be awesome to run this as a solo or with some friends or whatever, but running it as a TFO, the breaks in between the several stages are too long.
You know, that's actually a really good point. The breaks are long. I don't need the cutscenes in that, and I don't need the dialogue out of Discovery to add to the mission at all. I'd rather have it be a shorter break and just kind of regroup and go back in.
Yeah.
Okay, I settled down to blue.
The one thing I kind of like is that you have to go and rescue the escape pods, and while fighting off the other opponents, the Klingons, it's not a bad little touch in there. So you have the fight, then you've got to fight while you're thinking of something else. So that little bit of dichotomy is kind of a fun change.
I really like the gameplay. I just don't like the breaks.
Okay, so what would you give it then?
I would probably stick with blue.
Yeah, Ed, you said
because
blue?
the cutscenes and the breaks are just too long for a TFO.
Okay, the destruction of the Nimitz is okay.
Is that the Nimitz that gets
The
destroyed?
speech of Tkufma.
And it's pronounced envoy, not envoy. Ugh, drives me nuts.
I hate when NPCs consider themselves entitled. Yeah, blue.
Pi, are you joining us on a vote on that one?
I'm going to say blue.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go blue too. It's not bad. It's got some potential. Okay, Battle of Corfez, a mission I have played once, failed horrifically at it.
It is, in my opinion, the hardest elite in the game.
It's
White.
I have no.
Either one failed it miserably.
Yeah. I hate the thought of having a mission that you can only do as elite. I get the idea, but honestly,
I love that idea.
Well, I'm sure you do.
It's kind of dick waving building such a mission, and that I do not. That cannot be that the funds we create by buying ships and the like go to something only a small proportion of the gamers would ever see.
I have no reason.
And I clearly also, I have seen Corfez with able teams, pre-made teams, and we failed due to glitches. And again, an elite-only TFO white. I would even give a gray, but it's a kind of a console that reduces your critical hit chance and your basic weapon damage. So gray.
I don't like it just because I don't want a mission that's elite only. I just don't get it. Give me it where I can play it. Yeah, keep your elite exactly where it is for those who want it, but give us an option for those of us who can't play elite, who would like to do the mission, but want to play it at a different level.
Objection. Do not keep it as it is. Repair it too.
Okay, repair it too, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant keep the concept as it is. So we're giving this one not even standard issue.
I would actually give it a green.
Okay.
Because I personally like having the concept of having a mission that is marked and highlighted as this is the hardest stuff we have. if you really like a challenge, if you're really out there beyond the reasonable whatever, this is what you can try to see if you're really the toughest people that are out there. I like that concept.
Well, that's fine.
I
But
don't like how buggy it is, and I don't like that there's a downscaled version of it for those that don't want the epic challenge.
I don't want to
Mom?
spend a fortune.
It's
Yes.
half past.
It's half past.
now.
Hang on a second, folks. We're not going to stop the conversation. We're just going to go see, of course, if they're
I
up
just
there.
saw the argument.
All right. So the argument's going on for those of you who need it. I'm obviously not on that tune, but I'm heading over here to Makbara land, and we can continue the conversation. But I don't see them up here. We'll give them... There they are. Okay, if you need your Makbara, or Makbara denied, come on up to the top of the first arch and practice Makbara. I will not teach my enemy the art of Makbara. Leave! Okay, so
Yay,
it is at...
Master Relaxer.
Yay! For those of you who are not getting it right now, it will be up here at 12:30, 2:30, 4:30. So in other words, in another 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. But I will stand up here and defy them. As we go on to my favorite, my absolute favorite of all TFOs, Battle of Procyon 5.
Does my silence say enough?
Yeah.
Good.
I've done it once. I've done it successfully once.
Which one is that? Is that where the where you have to redo the same stuff 3 times?
Yeah, you've got
Time changes are imminent.
it. Yes. And you're doing it with
I actually
Daniel's...
soloed it once because the rest of the team has left.
White.
I've done it with the fleet. We went in prepared. We had the right ships, the right equipment, everybody set up for it. But after that, we thought, okay, great, we did it. We can go in with that same team and do it again, and we failed. Same team. So, do you remember there was a Star Trek TNG episode where they do a simulation of trying to get through a asteroid field without being affected by the acetone assimilators, and they do it once as a simulation correctly, and Picard insists they do it again just to make sure it's real, and they fail the second time? That's what that felt like. The second time through, we couldn't do it. Same team setup. It's a look of the draw.
It's getting harder each time, yeah.
Yeah. Not my favorite. I'm going white on that one. Don't enjoy it. Others? Other people vote? Other people comment?
Yeah, I'm trying to find consensus with myself. Because I could solo it, it wasn't too bad for me. It was a bit annoying.
It's really hard though, because of you have to do one thing and you have to save the Jupiter to hit both of your optionals. Is it? No, it's the Enterprise J that you have to save.
Yeah. I think with a decent team, it's actually fun. Because then you can just enjoy the challenge, everyone knows what they are doing, and it's just a fun challenge, and that's it. With a good team, it's fun.
But I think that the time you get to complete the 5 gateways, and especially every time you get shot or hit, you get interrupted.
Yeah.
I think the time limit is unfair.
The cloaking helps, so if everyone has a cloak, it definitely helps. If you've got somebody who can pull aggro, that helps a lot too.
Yeah.
And
I got both.
But still, it's somewhat like Arena of Sompic, right? You need to have the right team to do it. You cannot go in at the puck and complete it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I will say you can go in with a less prepared less prepared team than you would with Arena, for example.
Yep.
But with a well-prepared team, it's better. As a pug, it's horrible, and I'm glad it's not on the rotation for the Endeavors.
Yeah, with Puck, I would say it's a white. With a pre-made team, it can go off to purple.
I can go with that.
No.
One. No?
Definitely no, because doing 3 times the same thing. Sorry, no. White.
Okay. Binary Circuit. Binary Circuit is the ground map, 2 teams racing each other in parallel maps, not necessarily fighting each other. So it's like PvE.
Unless someone got mortars.
Yes, yeah. Well, you can fight them, especially in the last round, which is fun.
I kind of like it. I think it's fun.
I
I normally hate PvP, but I kind of like those kind of PvPs where you actually just compete
It's a race
in a
first.
I fully agree.
endeavor.
Other than the last time we did it with the Red Angel suits, don't do it with the Red Angel suit, by the way. Bad idea.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that was a disaster.
yeah, but who would have expected that?
Yeah,
What happened
But,
the angel
sorry,
suit?
it was late at night. We had DT, I can't remember who else was with us, Tack, Ed, me, and somebody else. And two of them had the Red Angel suits, so I'm sitting at the first console lighting up the bridge, and one of them fell off the bridge. And the Red Angel suit won't let them fly up, but it won't let them die to respawn. They couldn't get out, and you need all 5 people to do the first
Well,
thing.
well, you could do the unstuck.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't move you far enough?
No, because you have to come up vertically. It doesn't move you vertically. Remember, you fell into the pit. You have to move up to get
Yeah,
out of
right.
it. So Unstuck didn't work, and Kill Meat didn't work. Because you're in a Red Angel suit. You can't switch gear because you're in a TFO. So we had, after DT fell in, I want to say Tack fell in. So now we're down 2 people, and it's me, Ed, and maybe it was Dante as the third person. It was undoable.
Actually, just kill me twice. That should work.
It didn't. We tried it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds more like a bug than actually.
Well, the whole concept of the Red Angel suit is you can't die. So the option is, we didn't know it, then don't wear the Red Angel suit. Just don't
Then
wear
they
the Red
should
Angel
make
suit.
it like. Then either they should fix it or don't have the ability to use it then.
Well, it works in virtually everything. Oh, virtually everything else. There's a couple other ones where it doesn't work either.
several TFOs where
Yeah.
it cannot be recommended to have a suit with you.
Yeah.
I have a list. What happens to you with the Red Angel, and then you are on the fritz.
Yeah, Bug Hunt is another one. If you're in that last section and you have to go over that little bridge, sometimes I misstep and I fall down. Okay, fine. You die, you respawn, you come back, and you're fine. Not with the Red Angel suit. You're out of it. You're just stuck down there.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you use the Red Angel suit to also use Mud's time device. Because Mud's time device will trigger first, so just keep spamming that time device so that first you reset to somewhere safe. And if you still keep dying in that location, then it's fine.
But that aside, I actually love Binary Circuit. Providing nobody wears the Red Angel suit, and you pay attention to each other. One person takes each station to start. You get the map done really fast. You get over to the next one. Playing Dodgems is a little bit annoying, but okay, fine. You can logic that out and somebody gets across. Fine. The third one is the tunnel. And again, it's fun. You can solo it at that point pretty easily if everybody else is being an idiot and fighting folks. You can get all of them, run over to the other side, get the other 2, and everybody can run across. And the last one's just a boss fight. It's fun too. So,
Yeah.
binary...
I would say with a good team, it could be ultraviolet, but with random, I would say it's between blue and purple. So overall, I would say purple.
Yeah, I'm going to go purple too. Purple ranging into ultraviolet. It can be super fun. Hey, people who are out there in chat, you're welcome to pitch in your opinions on these things. We'd love to hear what you think. That's the whole idea of having conventions, so you guys can join us.
Green.
Green. Ooh, not your favorite, Ed.
I would rate the Red Angel suit green. Not to mention.
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Green. It would have been white, but meanwhile they fixed the mini-map thing, or changed it. There has been a time where you even got the disturbed mini-map, so you have no orientation aid available that I, as a mortal player, need.
I understand that.
Now they actually this green is an upgraded opinion.
Wow. Definitely not one of your faves. Pi, any thoughts on binary?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. Blue something.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites because I like the PvP part, but again, it's You don't really intermingle with the others, right? Except in the last part.
Right, and even then you don't have to. If your goal is just to win it and you've got the lead, just go for it. No reason to beat up the others.
Mm-hmm.
Which takes us on to Borg Disconnected. Borg Disconnected is where you're fighting the Borg, or sorry, you're rescuing the Borg, but fighting the Borg. You're fighting the Undine and the Voth. Am I right on that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Huge mission. This one easily 15 minutes because there's no way to short out the time gates. You just got a time gate through each of the levels.
Yeah. Yeah, the time gates definitely nerf this mission in my opinion. As do the non-cancelable cutscenes.
And the rewards you get from it after completing and playing for like 30 minutes? No.
Yeah, and with the last one to get all 3 dreadnoughts fast, I mean super fast, it's not impossible, we've done it, but it's an incredible challenge after what's really a long drawn out battle.
The payout is just too small.
Yeah, what is it?
The payout is too small, the fighting is essentially drawn out brawl that isn't really hard, nor is it really a challenge. It just takes ages.
And with having 3 locations and 5 players, it means somebody has to be soloing for both reassimilating the Borg cubes, freeing the Borg cubes and taking down the opponents, and then sometimes doing other stuff as well. So
or someone has to bounce between 2 locations.
Right, and because of the distance, that's really challenging too. Depends on the ship.
Overall, I would give it a blue.
Yeah, I'm going to go blue on this one as well. Blue, but maybe even down into the green. It's just a lot of effort.
If they remove the cutscenes, or at least make them cancelable, so that you don't lose all your buffs every single time.
Yeah. Well,
and either upscale the battles so they're actually a challenge, to some degree, or better yet, remove the time gates and replace them with objectives. Rescue X Borg and then continue, whatever.
That actually would be a good option on that one. I'd like to see it accomplish the goal. And I'm going to jump out of line here for a second, but the other one, Hive Onslaught, you know how you can F through the last cutscene and get straight on to killing the toothpaste tubes? I love that.
I would, first of all, blue for Borg Disconnected.
But all I meant by my jump there, Ed, was I would love the ability in that last sequence to ditch the cutscene so we can get straight to the battle and not lose all that time.
The cutscenes, some of the TFOs have cutscenes with issue, and Hive Onslaught belongs to those. So, because when NPC still can operate while you are watching a cutscene, that should never be part in a TFO. It cannot be that you can either do the TFO properly or watch the cutscene.
I would just like the option to click through the cutscenes. Pacheca, you don't have to kill all the enemies people waste time killing when they can let the other factions fight it out. That is true. Turn off auto attack and just save the ships. Good point. Thank you. I will have to pay attention to that next time. Thank you. Excellent point.
Cloaking also helps.
Cloaking also helps, yes. Huge. So, Borg Disconnected, white, green, blue, purple, ultraviolet, or gold. And Pacheca, I will definitely run it again just trying that. I don't auto-attack ever, but sometimes I think I should. Yeah,
I'll stick with blue.
I can stick with blue. Pie?
Green.
Okay. All right. Breach.
But that's more because I kind of like it because it's one of those TFOs that you actually have not just pew, but you actually have to interact, but it's more the payout and the time you spend.
Yeah, the time is just huge. Huge on that one.
If it would get like double the amount of marks and stuff compared to a normal TFO, then I would gladly play it. But for playing for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and get like standard payout. No.
I wish they would add some kind of script in the background that runs the average time you spend on a TFO and simply says 50 marks, say 10 marks per minute on average.
Well, they used to actually do the calculations that way So things that are X amount of time get 480 dilithium, so things that are this amount of time, 720. And, of course, that works exactly the wrong way down on New Romulus, where you get an ungodly amount of dilithium on those mini-maps, because you can run them in under a minute for some of them and still get your 480 or 720 dilithium. Here in Borg Disconnected, it's the opposite. It's not even a dilithium one, is it? It's just marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really isn't worth it.
Yeah, my my opinion of many of the Delta Quadrant opinion war age TFO is heavy-handed decisions, and would just where Dead Rising has been a player-unfriendly time, and
Was Borg Disconnected
so that
out of?
TFOs still suffer from it.
Was Borg Disconnected from Delta Rising era?
Yeah, collective box introduced by Delta Rising.
Didn't remember that.
The cooperation box have been introduced by Delta Rising.
But Cheka makes a comment here. They need to tie objectives to marks for everyone. Incentives to pay attention to objectives reflected in each captain's payout. Yeah,
Yep.
but it's not. It's reflected in the group pay. Do we get individual payouts or do we get group payouts?
TFO payouts.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, if we do Dyson Sphere, what I get for doing something may not be what you get for doing something, just because I dropped in at the last minute, but you started it from the beginning. So I know our payouts are different.
Yeah, but that is a battle zone. Battle zones are a different thing.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I
different
understand.
scaling.
Okay. With group payout, players ignore objectives. I don't know that that's true.
It is, unfortunately.
Is it really?
Not in all maps, not in all TFOs, but in a lot of the TFOs, especially the order ones, you can completely ignore the optionals and still get the same amount of payout.
Oh, well, I guess it's just a point of pride then for me. I hate missing the objectives, especially when I could have done better.
Well, on our we will hit that TFO sooner or later, and then I will I keep my mouth shut for now on that, and let's go on.
Okay, Breach. Breach started out as an event, and
I like it.
I hated it the first time I did it because I got stuck in a wall, and then I got lost, and I got killed when the ship blew up. After that, I want to say it was Tasker who said, you're not playing this right, and showed me how to play it better. And ever since then, I've liked it, and every time I play it, people just keep pointing out ways that you do it better. Don't forget to get all of the doors. Don't forget to do this. Make sure that we get that. And yeah, I've gotten to the point where I really enjoy Breach, except when it glitched that one year and you couldn't take out anything. That was a bad year.
Yeah. It really helps that they added all those directional markers. I think most of them didn't exist in the original version.
No, they didn't, but they're there now. Thank goodness. Well, some of them are now.
This, Breach had a design that aged well because it got maintained and got things that had caused problems had been changed, and my opinion on that is job well done, epic.
I don't know if I'd go epic. I enjoy it. I got to think about that for a little bit.
For gameplay, I actually if it would be gameplay only, I would say ultraviolet. Epic for free choice of marks with daily bonus.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
But I would rate it lower. I would definitely rate it lower because it's one of those cases where you essentially need a fast ship, and if you don't have a fast ship, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree. I've gone in with
I disagree too.
mesh ships in terms of speed and done just fine. I may not be the first person into each area, but you can use your ship effectively by finding a position and letting the guys who are super fast go running around and you do your thing.
Okay, let me rephrase that. If you don't have a reasonably fast ship, which I usually don't, then you can still do just fine in your average team. But if you have a team that is high in damage, you always arrive after everything's already killed.
Okay.
But
I can
that's
see
a
your
problem
point.
you have with a slow ship in any TFO.
Not really. In many TFOs, even in ISA, for example, you still have enough time to arrive if you just need to get started a little bit earlier. You can account for that. In this map, you can't.
I'm pretty sure I can provide a counter sample on your point for each room in the breach. Sample 1, closing the early hangar doors. Nice job for a slow ship. And also, sample 2 is the subcore, the subwarp cores. Stay near the exit, and when times come, first of all, fly left to rescue a Federation ship, and second, stay at that point until open the pillows to see if there is a warp core worth shooting, and just do not auto shoot a sub warp core with a question mark on it. And I'm pretty sure I can make a proper how-to for a slow ship on any room.
Great. Let me interrupt for
Yeah.
just a moment here. Good morning, Captain Darling. How are you today? Thank you for joining us. I like Breach. I don't know that I'd call it epic. I understand what you're saying, Ed. I'm definitely going to give it an ultra rare. Ultraviolet there is.
I'm gonna give
For me, it gets a purple.
Yeah.
So some varied opinion there. Let's go on to Brotherhood of the Sword, getting back to a nice ground mission. This is one I've only started playing recently. Okay, good afternoon then, Captain Darling. It's only 11 o'clock here, so still morning here. Brotherhood of the Sword.
Really like that one.
I do and I don't.
Again, it's just like Assault at Terra Ignore, right? If you have a good team, then it's okay. Other than that, it can be, yeah.
I give it a blue.
I think it's one of the better ones for what I like to call an adrenaline pumper, because you actually have to think your way through it, and you have to know all the little tiny side objectives. Run down the left side, wait for the fire team to start running, make sure they get to where they need to go, release the targs, go do this, that, and the other. There's a lot of side stuff that's not well defined in the game description, so if somebody hasn't told you it's there, you don't know it's there. But that kind of gets to some of the older ones, and I don't know if Brotherhood of the Sword is an older one or not. It can't be that old. It's Herald.
It's Iconian.
Right, so that's what, 5-6 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so middle of the road.
Yeah, in terms of time.
I think it suffers from the standard issue of Star Trek Online. They absolutely suck at passing on information that's vital.
Yeah.
Kind of one thing is, it would be better if we have one of those, you know, when these new icons have been introduced, the exclamation marks, the hearts for the nice little tardigrades who love you and the like. And yes, if it has potential, it will definitely benefit from a rework. And until that, blue.
Yeah, you know what? With the change to the ground map for First City, I would love to see the changed ground map there. I know they can't do it. It's not like they can simply switch it out, but the atmospheric effects, the smoke, the fires, all of that makes it very hard to do some of the visualizations and throws off your confusion, or throws in confusion in addition to everything else. I know that's realistic, but it really messes me up thinking three-dimensionally in a two-dimensional image. Pacheca has commented here, I'm not sure if it's still a problem, but the fire team wasn't working recently. I played it, I'm going to say 3 weeks ago, and they were working fine then. And it would be nice if you had some idea where the inhibitors would spawn. Yeah, that would be nice, but that would take away some of the mystery of it. And yeah, it is an easy way to get elite marks. People play it a lot for elite. And if I can play it for elite, that's a sad thing. Maybe I'm getting better, but I still think of myself as a bit of a noob.
You've gotten
though,
significantly better on ground.
I've gotten better on ground, yes. All right, so let's get some voting in. Brotherhood of the Sword.
I'm sticking with purple.
Ed?
I'll say the same, purple.
Okay, purple. Ed?
Blue.
I'm going to go purple. I'm getting to enjoy it, but it needs some work.
I have not figured it out yet, so blue.
DT plays it a lot, but when he plays it, it's always a go over here and then go over here and go over here, because he's so much into it and having so much fun that he's doing a great player game, but it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. So play it with him on normal and he points out everything, and then go play it with him on advanced and elite, and then he's having a lot of fun. Let's see. Captain Darling says, it would seem in the moment I go into a mission on foot, I find every bug possible. I gave up so much time having to cancel and go back to the start of ground missions that I actually avoid them. Anyone in particular, Captain Darling? Because if there's certain ones, jump in with folks who do them more, and they might be able to give you a workaround for the bugs, because I don't run into a lot of bugs.
Except in bug hunt.
Mission-wise, I don't meet so many bugs.
Yeah, but even TFOs, I don't run into a ton of bugs. Also, why can we not have a default ground skill setup? I don't want to keep commando on all the time. That's a valid point. It might be nice to have, in essence, a ground skill loadout.
On the other hand,
somewhere that they are working on something.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
Yeah, some kind of loadout option for skills. And specializations or whatever.
That would be nice. I'd like to see it, because I don't bother to jump through them. I just go for the average and get content.
But yeah, you don't need commando for ground. I'm doing just fine using temporal and miracle worker at present.
Yeah, I use temporal
and
for the
it
most
works
part.
just fine.
But you can learn to adapt around anything, so those things become less critical. Speaking of bugs, bug hunt.
Love it.
So do
Don't love the actual gameplay bugs that occasionally appear, but
I haven't had a lot of ground play bugs in it, other than occasionally something gets stuck in a wall, but even that's pretty rare. But I really love bug hunt.
My opinion, epic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I have a link to prove my opinion, so I prove that I have that opinion.
Captain Darling says, I can't remember once an NPC was stuck, another I waited for an NPC to fly off, he went in, didn't take off. You know what? That happens a lot in a couple of missions, both ground and space, and I don't know that there's a solution, because sometimes we go in and we slaughter everything so fast it never triggers the next level. But yeah, that's actually a real thing, and I don't know what the solution is there. But bug hunt, I freaking love it. It's one of the few where I'm happy to try it on elite frequently. And I'll even do pug on elite, because most people who do bug hunt elite know what the heck they're doing, and they've got the equipment. And there's just a few little tricks to keeping it elite, which is if you've got like mortars, set them up on the edge of the last event, and make sure you don't let Vanderveer get killed. There was one said, meet me in the next room, and he disappeared going through the doorway. Ouch. Ouch. I don't know that one, but that sucks. That sucks. So they've got colony invasion here as being a TFO. Is this really a TFO? What is this one?
You mean Assad on Dranur?
No, it says colony invasion. Enemy forces attack a Federation colony. Starfleet arrives to rescue the colonists while the Klingon Empire hopes to capture valuable prisoners and information. Is this... Oh my god, is this one of the really old ones?
yes, it is.
Isn't it the ones where you run around with the flashlight and all the mazes and stuff?
I don't...
I can't recall. It's also easy only, so normal only.
I want to say this is the one... Oh, gee, we got to do this one, folks. Oh, yeah, Salt Vampires. I freaking loved Salt Vampires. That was a cool one, and they took it away.
Okay, I can't recall it. Something valid for level 50 characters. Mom, when Captain Cuddles and Gonalicious will be ready for it, we will get some mates and do that.
Sounds great. We're going to run Colony Invasion, not today, probably not today, but as soon as we go in. Pacheco wants to talk about Salt Vampires. Oh, God, what was the name of Salt Vampires? It was a TFO.
Species M113.
Yeah, they had a ground TFO where you had to go in, reinforce the buildings, get the people out, then you had to fight off the salt vampires, then you had to help evacuate everybody to the shuttlecraft. I freaking love that one. That was a great mission, and they've taken it out. I just adored that one. It was one of the first ones I did, and I loved the idea of being able to try and prevent the attacks, doing the ground stuff. And then when you're trying to escort everybody out, you had to kind of keep them grouped together because they would wander off in their own little Mine Trap, thank you. Mine Trap. I loved that one. I want Mine Trap back. Well, since nobody's played Colony Invasion in forever, let's skip that one on our rating system for the moment and go on to Core Assault. This is one of the competition ones, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That's one of the real PvPs.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like PvP.
I've played it when it's been required. I play it when I need competition marks, but honestly, I don't enjoy the competition ones at all, so I am happier to do universal type marks and just get my competition marks that way. It's not my favorite. Standard issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then it brings us to Counterpoint. Counterpoint's another Lita one, correct?
Yep.
And let's say it all together. 1, 2, 3. Shut up, Lita.
Yeah. I think that's the major issue I got with the mission. Mm-hmm. Without that issue, it would be gold. With the issue, it's just ultraviolet or muted.
Okay, at the beginning of this one, we have to shut down portals, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, there's 2 portal ones. I think people forget that that's one of the objectives, is to shut down portals, because everybody just gets busy playing pew-pew until the timer elapses, and then they go off to kill Lita. And killing Lita's fine. We've had some awesome versions of this, both in pugs and in teams that we know. And it's been quite fun. Sometimes we've had some ungodly fun ones. But for whatever reason, people miss that first step of shutting down the portals. Mm-hmm. Does that help?
The fun part is, the ships during that phase do so little damage that even if you don't protect the base at all, it still only takes shield damage. Yeah.
Captain Darling...
There's no reason for anyone to stay at Deep Space Nine and defend it.
No. Captain Darling, the ground ones where things can get knocked into walls is a pain in the butt because there's no workaround for it. The one exception is in... the very first one we talked about. What was the very first one? No, the one we all like. Arena of Sompek. When things get knocked into the wall, you can kind of, with little effort, push them back out of the wall and get them done, but that's an exception to the rule. Counterpoint can be an awesome amount of fun, but I'm not going to go higher than purple. Just because that first part of the game seems pointless.
Yeah, I wish there was something like the more portals stay open, the harder the second part becomes, or something like that.
I could live with that, yeah. Make there be a reason to shut down those portals.
Elite version would be fine with that. Purple is my opinion.
Yeah, I'll go purple on it. Pi, you still with us?
Actually, I go with ultraviolet.
Ooh. I'm sticking with my purple on that one. Okay, oldie, the crystalline catastrophe.
Very mixed bag.
It's never been a challenge even on, I don't know that there's an elite version of it. There isn't. This only goes up to advanced. Everybody plays it on advanced. And thank goodness they've kind of improved the feedback effect, where you have to take the break and get out of range. And they got rid of the hug. Because otherwise we'd go in there and just beat the crap out of it. And there would be times you could go in and out in less than 30 seconds on advanced.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that can actually kill me.
Yeah, and it used to be you could do the hug. You'd get into 0.0 from the heart of the crystalline entity and just stop your engines, sit there, make sure all your shields are up, and you would be completely unaffected. And you could go just back in and keep shooting it. They changed that, so now you have to move out at least to near the 10 kilometer range. And with a big team, though, you go in, it's pew pew, you're in at 3, you have to use evasive maneuvers to get out to 10. You make it, you're not back in range fast enough, and you get killed because they've taken it out too fast. So having a fast ship makes it fun, having a medium or slow ship makes it impossible. But as
Actually, no, it doesn't. If you stay at the 10 kilometer mark, say 9 kilometers or so from the target, just sit there, kill it, and have fun.
Yeah.
You don't need to move around.
Okay, but if you want to get first, second, or third on it, and this is one where they still have first, second, and third, you've got to do some of the damage. But as Pacheca points out, great way to get destructible torpedoes. Good point.
Yep. And the damage, that really depends on your build.
Yeah.
I've done first with me staying at just about 9.5 kilometers from it.
Overall, it's fun, it's fast, it gets you marks, but
Yeah.
I'm going to just give it a blue because you have to have 10 people doing it, which again is silly.
I'm actually giving it a green because you need a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just taking time without really giving you any fun for it.
Yeah.
Sure, you get the rewards and you can get your endeavor for the torpedo kills and whatever, but the gameplay of the mission itself is not really all that fun.
No. Don't forget, though,
Nor is it a challenge.
If you destroy the small crystalline shards at the end, you get salvage for them, but that's about it. So overall, yeah, it's meh. Green or blue?
Blue.
Pie? Pie's out having a smoke. The cure applied. This is the ground one, the outside ground one. You're on a planet's surface, it's raining, it's kind of boggy. It hasn't been updated in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely have to have a frequency remodulator, or you have to use physical damage weapons, like the Thompson submachine gun. What happened to Starbase 39? What happened to Starbase 39? It's been gone for a while, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been gone for a long time. What's weird is it's still in the gameplay requirements for a Federation tune.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Captain Darling,
Yeah.
long wait for crystalline catastrophe? Some days, yes. Some days it pops instantly. So, because it's fast. But Cure Applied used to be one of the more challenging ones, and you really had to have a team that was working together. These days, no, you just have to have people who are prepared. It's not that bad. So if you're good with going in with physical weapons, it's okay. You do have to pay attention because the board come out to fix stuff. And
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a lot of walking around.
it does.
You have to pay attention. It's, in my opinion, a little bit annoying.
It
And
could-
visually not all that appealing.
I just like that it's different than some of the other Borg ones, but I think it's one that could definitely benefit from being a updated one. I'd love to see it updated.
Yeah. At present, I give it a green.
I agree. It's doable. It's doable with just about anything. The modulation, the cycle modulation weapons are fine, but physical damage weapons are much more fine. Hand axe is awesome.
Purple.
Oh, okay. Why?
Figure out the puzzle. It's kind of that is where I like the challenge, and Purple is an opinion, yes, but that opinion I have.
I loved this 5 years ago when we used to play this as a fleet a lot. And it was one of our Saturday night things. And we had people who were really, really good at it, and we always had fun, we always did really well. And the last time I went back to play it, it just, like I said, it just needs an update. I would put it back up to purple, maybe even ultra rare, if they updated it and just made it tie together a little bit more. But it's not bad. There's a lot of running. It's not horrible, but it does need an update.
Yeah. With an update, I would probably move it up to somewhere between blue and purple, because it is still a freaking big map and it still takes way too long compared to other TFOs.
I don't mind a big map.
I personally love the big maps. The problem with the big maps for TFOs is it would be perfect as a patrol. But for a TFO, the problem is that it competes with stuff like ISA.
Yeah, we'll get to ISA in just a few minutes here. I hope. Since we are taking a little bit longer to go through all these than I intended to, which is okay, because my schedule is very flexible, but I don't want to spend the entire day doing this. You know what? Let's go to some that are coming up here and skip over a few. Since Pacheco, I think it was Pacheco mentioned Defensive Starbase 1, which came up, I believe, with the Discovery ones.
Boring.
Blue.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's great for, get in there, do your stuff. But you can AFK it, and that's wrong.
You can AFK it in Elite.
You can AFK it in Elite.
You cannot AFK Advanced or Normal. Elite only.
But it's so easy to do in Elite. I don't have Elite level ships, and I can do this in Elite.
Yeah, you can AFK it in Elite, exactly.
Well, I can actually play it in Elite. And that's wrong.
Definitely true. But the design is made in a way that Elite works best when played AFK, because it doesn't fail when played AFK.
Amazing.
And can fail when played, actually, in Elite. So,
what's the fail criteria for, if you lose
destroyed navigation ships.
Wow.
Yeah, and no enemy would actually approach those ships unless you are next to them and attract them to it.
Yeah, is this supposed to be a real... This is actually from the storyline, isn't it? From the Discovery storyline?
Yes, one of the early missions made into a TFO.
Okay, Pacheco's asking. No, it's actually from the early Discovery stuff, not the Jaula Discovery. Give me a one that you'd like to discuss, gentlemen.
Dranur.
Dranur Beach Assault or Dranur Gauntlet?
Beach.
Peril over Pavo.
We'll get to that one right after this then. Dranur Beach Assault. I
absolutely love it.
I love the map.
With a bad team, it can be annoying.
I love the map. I love that you get to come into the building first. You've got things going on at 3 different levels. Hopefully people pay attention. You can pug this one, as long as they're equipped. You can pug it, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It's one of the best TFOs out there. The problem is finding the people to play it with.
Yeah, we've played it as a fleet a couple of times, and it's been fun. Lucari piezoelectric wrist device, way fun on this one.
Yeah.
Pacheco points out it's difficult to save the transport inhibitors. That's true, it is. But again...
Unless you have some way of healing them. Or preventing them from taking damage in the first place.
Yeah, it's easier to prevent the damage than to heal. But... It's fun. I like playing the Zinkethi. I like the map. It's enjoyable to just go running around on that map. And it does take a little bit of brain power, a little bit of fun. Is it my favorite ground one? No, but I'm going to give it an ultra rare.
For me, it gets an epic.
Wow. I like it. What is the perk out of this one? Lucaris and colony provisions. Well, Ed, you're wrong. No. Just
it cannot be
teasing.
wrong, because blue is my sincere opinion.
I'm so joking, Ed. You are absolutely entitled to your opinion. We all are.
I'm absolutely right in telling you want me to tell what opinion I have, and so that information is a fact. My opinion on this is blue. Yeah, blue for one reason.
Hmm.
You depend on the other team for the total success.
Okay, that's true of almost every TFO, isn't it?
No, you depend on your team, but in this case you depend on the other team. The Beach Assault is a 2-team.
Is it? Is it really? Am I just...
Actually, you don't depend on the other team. One inhibitor has to survive. Doesn't matter if your team protects the last one or the other team. And for the first part, it is everyone in the same area who cares.
Blue. I don't like it.
Okay. There's a few that I don't like. Ed, did you say Peril over Pavo or Pavo Dissension?
Peril over Pavo.
Peril over Pavo. Okay. Peril over Pavo is Starship Troopers one, right? Where they have the missiles firing up from the ground.
No, that's Operation Riposte.
Okay, thank you. Peril over Pavo
Peril
is...
over Pavo is Drano Gauntlet Reloaded.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And my opinion on that is black.
What's black? Is that beyond epic or below?
Never do that again and remove it. A reason is simple. Having the same TFO with 2 names, it's just a reskin of another TFO. It's like you can put chip in Terrans and Mokai Klingons into Drano Gauntlet, and you would have 1 TFO. This is Peril over Pavo is yeah. Are you kidding with me? No, it's not a TFO of its own. It's a fake TFO. It's a
Don't hold back, Ed. Let us know what you really
yeah.
think.
They are repeating it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't like either of them, to be honest.
That is, I totally understand your reason, because in Drano Gauntlet, it really depends on the kind of random opponents you get, how you fare. And that is Zankefi and Undine.
Yeah, you need a really good build in order to enjoy it.
You do not know how difficult it will be, because Borg, yay, easy job.
I actually enjoy it because my build is good enough, but if my build wasn't good enough to handle whatever comes, yeah, it would be very annoying.
I don't like either one of them. I don't know that I'd call it black, but I can see your point, Ed, in calling it black, so I'm not going to disagree with you. For the other one, though, definitely white. I don't like it.
White too, yes. At least it's a TFO on its own, not a copycat result.
Yeah, I just don't like that one at all, though.
Shut up, bad Ed.
Okay, let's go for one that's kind of in that same genre, Zenkethi Front. Not everybody's favorite.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's the one where
Yeah.
you have to defend the base, you have to pick up the bombs, you have to take the bombs out to the Zenkethi star base and blow them up.
I don't mind getting the bomb part, I don't mind blowing the enemy stations up. I do mind the defend your own base stuff, because with most teams, at least on advanced that I've seen so far, the team simply doesn't have enough damage to reliably kill the enemies before they get in range of the base.
I don't know that that's true. I think people just don't remember that they have to defend the base until it's too late.
I've seen multiple times when a group of 3 people were dedicated to defending the base, and 3 people is more than half the team, and they failed.
Wow.
Not because they weren't trying, but simply because they couldn't manage it.
Wow, I've never had that happen, but I've had it happen where there's only one person attempting to defend the base solo the entire time. What I find works better is when one person kind of hovers around there, and as people come back after they do the bombing missions and, take down a few ships, then you've got a few moments to catch your breath and the next one comes in. But speed on getting the
Zancathi
bombs.
front. My opinion on Zancathi front is ultraviolet with violet with my violet in general, and there I have some tunes where I really enjoy it because it's possible to actually do the base destruction job solo, even if the team does not understand why and how to carry bombs along. you can be the one who actually saves the day.
That's fun when you get to save the day.
So and for this, these are my kind of I would call it my golden moments of that. On the other side, sometimes yes. So I will end at purple.
Okay, I can totally understand that one.
Yeah, I think it's actually give it a purple as well. I really enjoy it. I just wish there was some mechanism that makes it a little bit easier to defend against the bombs on the base. Because Zancathi are freaking annoyingly hard to kill.
Yes, they are.
And if you have a teammate that uses gravels...
Oh, God. Yes, yes. Okay, there's actually a way to use a grav well, but most people don't think about it and they don't use it correctly, so don't use it. Just don't use it.
The one way that I know is essentially to drag everyone away from the objective so that someone else can bomb it.
Correct.
And then wait for it to dissipate and pick them up when they spread out again.
Yep.
Frankly spoken, I'm too silly to play to place my gravity well that effective. But I found with enough APG, you don't hurt the team because you kill those damn Zancathis anyway.
Yeah, if you have 600 EPG, then it doesn't matter where you place your gravel. That's perfectly right.
Let's pick a couple others here, and we'll take a break in about 10 minutes here and do one of our interviews. So everybody can go have a hygiene break, get yourself a fresh drink, and then we're going to come back at 12 o'clock to talk about something that everybody wants to talk about. What would you like to see in the game? This is a chance for everybody to voice their opinions.
Playable Ippos!
Half an hour we're going to get to that one. So,
Combat Ippos!
Minor instabilities.
Minor instabilities. It's either black or gold. I have two opinions of minor instabilities.
I'm quite glad it's not in the random cycle, I think. Or is it?
It's either just it is. It's absolutely horrible if you don't go in prepared. So if it's on random and you're not set up on the off chance this is going to be the one that you get, oh my God, it sucks. I have gone in there and come out of there with like 30 wounds, 30 injuries on me because I didn't go in prepared correctly. I didn't have the right weapons. I didn't have... it just went horribly. I'd stand up, get shot, and killed. And not have enough heals to fix everything. So if you're going to go into a random, over-prepare. If you're going in planned, though, we can do it epic if we're planned for it. If we set it up, everybody knows where they're going. Even if we don't have a team, but going in maybe with one person and you go into epic, people know what they're in for. They come in prepared. They come in with the equipment, and they know the map. So super fun. The end fight, I think, though, is a little too long. When the Nakul come in, and Nakul can be really difficult to take down.
The wrist device helps a lot with that.
Oh, I haven't tried that one.
There's one reason that prevents me from shouting epic. The reason is that stupid Gone engineer can get stuck between two buildings and the whole thing gives you an AFK penalty.
Oh no.
Yes.
I haven't had that
That's-
happen, but that would suck.
Twice this year.
Gee,
My
wow.
condolences.
That's horrible.
That sucks.
That's absolutely horrible.
But yeah, it is one of my absolute
Yes,
all-time favorite maps.
on the other side, a reason to say he's gone stuck.
A Gorn pun. We have to love a Gorn pun. Okay.
Yeah.
So from all the
I give it an epic.
yeah, it can, like I said, black or epic, one of the two. I'm not going to rate Infected the Conduit because, it's just a standard. We all play it all the time. We use it as kind of test for our builds. And I don't know. I love the fact that they updated it and made it a little bit better, a little bit more consistent. But I don't know that it's ever going to be epic or horrible. I think it's just a standard. It's like rating the quality of your yardstick. It's a yardstick. It does its job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the
So,
other hand, if
I
you
would
rate all other missions compared to ISA, then everything else is subpar because it takes longer for less reward.
Okay, I give it a purple, and yes.
Yeah, it is what we expect from it.
Yeah.
ISA and ISE diamond encrusted platinum, according to Musin. I think that he likes that. Okay, before we take our break here, I don't know if Pie's still with us, but if he is, he can voice his opinion. Ed, what is your favorite TFO? What is your all-time epic TFO? And I'm going to ask you the same thing,
Yeah.
Russell.
Pavo Dissension.
Pavo Dissension. Really? I mean, I like it, no question.
You can do silly things to Terrans without being punished.
Okay, that's a really good point.
And you can use city builds to do so because it's comparatively easy.
And I love it.
Wow.
I unanimously and utterly and unreservedly love it.
Wow, all right.
It is one of the best
It
done
has-
maps in the game, yes.
I love the
And
map.
including Andrei, the cliché Russian. Then Savea, the cliché evil Terran lady who shot her grandma for being a traitor. The carrierist, I better get a promotion from that. Plus the many variants of ground builds that really excel at this thing. You can have, if your build is good, either by surviving punishment or by killing Terrans fast or whatever, if your build is a good one in itself, you can solo a lane. And I now stop the loadation processor and say, that is my personal one and forever epic.
Awesome. Okay, Russell, your epicest of all epic TFOs.
For a long, long time it was actually Pavo Dissension.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm currently split between Ranur Beach and minor instabilities, assuming no bugs happen.
And isn't it interesting for your epics, you both picked ground ones?
The reason behind that is in space.
Mm-hmm.
The entire balancing of the game is a little bit different, so you're significantly less challenged, in my opinion. It's significantly easier to survive in space and to do reasonably well in space.
But on the ground?
It's harder.
I come to the same conclusion for different, the same result, loving a ground TFO, for the reason that it's so friggingly, it's rather cheap to have a good ground build
that as well.
compared to a good, or what I consider a good space build. On the other side, the space TFO, they can be done on advanced by most reasonable players. a very casual player is a little bit in the brumbles on advanced. You should just not go advanced because he is not fit for that, and he cannot judge without having a combat log reader and seeing what is actually going on, because in many times just the strong players carry the weak, which is good. But okay, for player development, it's probably easier to judge one's own abilities when on ground.
Yeah.
And for that reason, if you want to test your build, use the Klingon Civil War patrols on normal. And when you can do them without being destroyed and without growing old and gray, then you're ready for advanced TFOs.
All right, so we're going to take a break now for about half an hour.
That has been lots of opinion from the ad
and the rest. So, but hey, that's cool. That's what it's all about, folks, is I want you to voice your opinions and tell us what you're thinking of and what you're enjoying. We are going to take a break here for a little bit. I know we're having some twitchy problems here, and we're going to do an interview. We're going to do an interview with Harold. We have recorded these in advance. I will try and check the volumes to make sure we're not overloading everybody. And we will be back in about 30 minutes, and we're going to be talking about what you'd like to see in the game. Everybody, think about it. Not what you don't want, not, get all the bugs fixed and that kind of thing, because honest to God, I know they do what they can on that. And we're not going to go into it. I'm sure not going to be an apologist for them. But let's hear what you do want to hear. And yeah, we're actually going to record all this. We are recording all this. We'd like to get your opinions. So everybody, let's have an interview with Harold. All right. So you don't have to give your name if you don't want to. If you just want to be your tune, you can just be your tune. And you don't have to reveal anything about your personal history. But anyway, we are here chatting with one of my favorite people in the game. And let me ask you a quick question. How'd you get started in Star Trek?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. First time I saw the show, fell in love with it as a kid, and just the rest of my life. I mean, I watched every show that came out. I even read some books, and it even inspired me to my future career. I work at NASA, and so
we have a real rocket scientist here. Well, close to a rocket scientist. Yay!
Oh, thank you. So it inspired me to be as close as I could to doing that. And then several years ago, I heard about Star Trek Online, and I thought, my goodness, dream come true opportunity to explore space, command a starship, and I couldn't resist. So I joined, and I've been playing ever since.
That's very cool. I when you first mentioned where you worked, I was like, yeah. I mean, that's like a Trekkie's dream come true for a lot of us, at least.
It was a dream come true for me, and still is.
I can well imagine. Can you tell us anything about what you do?
Sure. I'm a flight controller, and my area of operations is payloads. It's the science that we're doing on board the International Space Station. The first position I certified for, I was an operations controller. We were in charge of anomaly response, real-time safety decisions, and making sure everything was executed according to the timeline for the day. Very enjoyable job. But after a while, I wanted to do something different. So now I'm what's called a payloads communicator, and I'm the one that gets to talk to the astronauts on board the ISS when they're doing their science research.
That's so freaking cool.
It is pretty freaking cool, yeah.
I'm unbelievably jealous. Every time I see a launch go up, I think about you and going, oh my God, I wish I could do that kind of stuff.
It is a tremendous blessing. And I'm very, very honored to get to do it. It's not only a dream come true, but it really is a deep honor.
That's incredible. So aside from playing in space for real and for playing in space for pretend, anything else you do in your life?
Well, yeah, a lot of stuff. I love sports. I still play basketball. I'm on a basketball team at work. We have a after work league. I love to read. I love to cook. I love kayaking. Kayaking is one of my favorite things in the world. And ironically, I love to chop wood. It's just a wonderful stress reliever for me. So, kind of a bit of an eclectic set of things, I suppose.
Well, that kind of fits in with what I think of when I think of Star Trek. I won't speak for you, but my favorite captain is Picard, and I see him in many ways as a bit of a Renaissance man.
I agree, and that's really what I've been described as several times by different people as a Renaissance man. So I enjoy studying biology just as much as I enjoy studying mathematics or philosophy.
Wow.
To me, it's just about learning. I love all of it.
So did you find the learning aspect of Star Trek Online challenging in any way? If there's been a comment we've consistently heard at conventions, it's been, I tried it and it was too hard.
I wouldn't say it was too hard, but I would say that there's so much to try to master. And a lot of it is probably not that intuitive. Like I have a lot to learn. I've just recently kind of tried to figure out how to maximize the DPS for my ships. And as I'm getting better at that, my ships are getting even more effective in combat. But that's something for a long time that I didn't understand. I just kind of blew that off, and I was focusing on getting sets together and things like that, which then the sets can be powerful and they can give you cool perks. But even though they may not be damage focused. So still challenging, still a lot to learn. But it's simple enough that if you're a casual gamer, you can come in, make a character, play through the stories, and have a good time. And then if you want to be more serious, you can really dive into it and go for max min builds and things like that.
So do you find yourself a more space-oriented player, or do you like the ground 50-50? Where's your fave in the game?
I would say 65% space combat and 35% ground. I enjoy the ground stuff, but the truth is I just always wanted to fly a starship. And flying a starship in battle is like, that's the ultimate dream right there. So I'm always going to prefer that.
Cool. Favorite ship?
Favorite ship?
Or
right
ships.
Now it's the Suliban assault carrier.
Really?
Really digging that. It's got 5 fore weapons and 3 aft. It's got 2 carrier bays. And the Suliban fighters seem to be considerably more effective than the fighters I've had from other carriers, whether it's whatever faction. Just really digging that. I also am really fond of there's a Vorgan Dreadnought.
Oh, yes.
And I love the Jim Hadar Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
I do seem to be into the heavier ships. The Rizian Escort, I think that's the name for it.
The one from last summer, or 2 summers, last summer? The T6?
Yeah. Corvette, maybe. That's the... I'm digging that. One of my very favorite interior is the Sphere Builder Dreadnought. I just think that ship has the coolest interior. It is so unique. And actually, in some ways, really a pretty interior. So,
I would love to see more ship interiors. I know it's time consuming and probably not profitable for them to do it, but I do love ship interiors.
I do love the ship interiors, and that's, to me, probably the most disappointing thing of some of the ships I get is really awesome ship, but the interior's just bridge. Doesn't even have like a captain's room or something. And But you're right. It probably is a lot of money for not much return.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a really cool addition to the game to have more interiors.
So when did you start playing? And I asked that because of the interior question.
Seems like it was around 2012.
Oh, okay, so actually quite early in it. In some of those early ships, you could go wander all over. Leave the bridge, take the turbo lift down to a couple of different decks, visit engineering, sick bay, the chef.
Yes.
And
Yes, I loved that.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was to me totally cool to be able to go through all your ship and encounter the different people, go to the different stations. It made it feel more real.
Yes. Immersive.
Yes, good word, immersive.
So is there any aspect of the game that's something that really appeals to you?
I think the thing that I find most appealing about it is the power of unification. I'm on, and depending on the time of day, I may be talking to somebody who's playing in Germany or somebody who's playing in Australia, and we all have this connection. Now, not all the chats are great, but sometimes the zone chats can get a little dicey.
Yes.
But in general, it's an amazing way to connect with people all over the world and find out that we're all unified by this utopian vision of what we all hope and believe the future could be. And if we have enough people with that vision, maybe we can actually make progress and move in our world towards something more utopian.
It's a lovely thought. I shall digress, though, for a moment to zone chat. Have you ever had the experience of being in zone chat and somebody accidentally starts doing ERP in zone chat?
Yes, I've seen that.
That's one of the joys of zone chat, especially Ryza is notorious for it. And occasionally you'll get some really interesting conversations on Deep Space Nine. But
Yep, seen some there.
wow.
To me, the interesting thing is about the zone chats. For the most part, I try not to look at them because occasionally something's like, have to respond to that. Like, there was one guy one night going off on NASA and, running down NASA. And it was like, whoa, hold on. All these facts you're posting are this stuff you're entirely making up. None of those facts are real. And, so then we digressed into this debate, and it's like, look, man, this is what I do for a living. Then it was like, I don't believe you. Prove it. It's like, anyway, it was like, so a lot of times I just don't look at zone chat because sometimes I can't resist being drawn into the fray against my better judgment.
It is a black hole.
It is.
The conversations there get interesting, though I have met many, many interesting people through Zone Chat, not the least of which is our fleet admiral. I was dancing on Ryza and got invited to the fleet because he was dancing on Ryza and started putting out invitations in Zone Chat.
How cool was that?
Yeah, and I guess it's been, 7 years now that I've been in the fleet?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Long time fleety person. And I'm very happy that you're in our fleet, too.
I'm very happy to join. I was in another fleet almost my entire time there, and it was really just two of us active players. And
Ooh,
I don't know how many.
ouch.
I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how many resources I poured into that.
But with only two.
Ludicrous.
With only two people, that's so hard.
Yeah, we didn't make a whole lot of progress. 7 years later, I think we had our starbase up to level 3.
Yeah, everything you'd be making would go right into it. Ouch.
Yeah, it took a long time to make any progress, but you know, when I left the fleet, I had something ludicrous like 500,000 fleet credits or something like that. It was,
Yeah, I can easily see that happening.
yeah, so I joined your fleet with a ludicrous amount of fleet credits.
Well, that's only because you haven't seen Sav's bank, and I'm sure she's got some ungodly amount, like 50,000 or 50 million credits, because she donates to the fleet all the time, and at some point you run out of things to buy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to that day when I run out of things to buy.
Then they'll have something else for us to buy. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah, they do seem to constantly come out with new stuff, which is cool.
Yes.
I love to go through the different ships. It's like I will get new ships all the time, test them out, and then if I don't like them, then I just dismiss them and hey, they're in my admiralty. And then the ones that I love, I dry dock, and then I can just cycle through my faves depending on my mood.
I have so many ships, and I hate to give them away, and I hate to get rid of any of my equipment just because, what if I need it later? And I never go back and use any of that old stuff, but you never know.
You never know. The good thing about most of the ships are that, like, whether it's one I've actually purchased or whether it's one I get from an event, if I dismiss it and I want it back, I can just go reclaim it.
For most of them, you can, yes. The really expensive ones, not always.
Yeah, not always, but a lot of them. So
Have you ever bought a Lobby ship?
I have bought a Lobby ship.
Which one did you get?
I knew you were going to ask me that question. Dang it. Give me a second to open the Lobby store and I'll tell you. Oh, shoot. This is the tune that doesn't have the Lobies on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let me change characters. So I can pull up my Lobies and tell you what ship I bought. I just don't remember. I've even done a few of the Zen ships, so I'm very moody about my ships.
Mm-hmm.
Like in certain moods, it's like, I just don't feel like dealing with fighters right now, so I'll dock my carriers. Sometimes I just want an escort to fly fast and blow things up.
That's always a good way to do it.
Yeah, so it really just depends on my mood. And I think that was actually why I had a lot of Lobies one day, and I was looking around. I wasn't interested in the Zen ships, and I found one I was interested in. Said, hey, this sounds really cool. I guess I'm a spontaneous ship buyer.
Well, for spaceships, that's fine. For cars, one must be a little bit more practical.
Yeah, I believe you're correct on that. This doesn't have quite the impact if I make a poor ship choice.
This is true, and all of these ships have a much lower carbon footprint.
They do. They're very efficient. Since I drive a Prius in real life, that's important.
Well, 2 more weeks. Once I've got all this stuff done for the convention, and for those of you who haven't realized it, we are recording this in advance of the convention. But once I've got my life back, I've got my bicycle, and I will start bicycling to work again. Yay!
Oh, that's awesome.
It's only 20 miles. It won't kill me.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's a nice ride. It was the Tal Shiar adapted battle cruiser.
Oh, yes. Nice choice. Very nice choice.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that ship. That's fun.
Yeah. I see many people still flying that one. It's a lovely ship.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I have dry docked that I can bring back out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
definitely enjoyed that.
So, if you were to describe yourself, would you be more of a tank or more of a fighter escort?
Definitely a tank. Definitely a tank. I do this the same way that I did martial arts, or that I did boxing, or that I played football, which is straightforward and no nonsense.
So, can take a licking and keep on ticking?
Can take a licking and keep on ticking, and also very good at dealing out damage.
That's always important, yes. Also cathartic, both in game and in real life.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to say, it's one of the things I like about martial arts is you can go out and, excuse the terminology, but beat the crap out of somebody and feel really good, because when you're done, they'll have beaten the crap out of you, you'll have beaten the crap out of them, and you're both friends and you get to still laugh at each other and with each other.
Absolutely. That is a beautiful appeal of martial arts, or sparring and boxing, or even for me it's that way in basketball. Basketball is very physical, at least the way I play in the post, and so it's the whole time you're out there, you and another big guy are just pushing and shoving, and it's really physical, and so I love that aspect of playing basketball, the physicality.
I always think that, in my gaming mind's eye, when I'm doing all these physical things or I'm leading through a battle or something, I think of it as something I'm doing in real life, that it's taking the physical as well as the emotional toll on me. And there are times I come out of a game and I'm actually tired. And of course, it's all in your head. This isn't real, but it's, I don't know, anthropomorphizing to an extent.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, to a certain extent it is. To a certain extent, there's a function in your body called the sympathetic nervous system.
Oh, yes.
That says even if you're not doing something, but you witness somebody doing something that you can relate to, it can have the same effect on your body. And there's a lot of ways it manifests. Like if I'm watching a football game, you will actually watch while I'm sitting there, my legs move, my arms move, my shoulders move, because as I'm watching the play, my brain doesn't distinguish between watching or doing. And so it's trying to tell my body, hey, you need to get ready for that tackle. Hey, you need to grab that guy. And so and I didn't know I did it until I got married. And then my wife's like, you're not playing, right? What are you talking about? She goes, it looks like you're about to come off the couch and tackle the television. Like, I had no idea my body was doing it.
Wow.
And I think the same thing can apply here, that, when our mind gets to a certain spot and we're really into it, our mind can create the effect in our body.
I agree with you. Certainly, the positive aspects are definitely related from the game to real life. As you mentioned, the social aspect, I love being able to chat with people around the world, or in some cases next door, as it's turned out. So there's a definite high I get from the game, from being able to play with people who are smart and capable and intelligent, and to a very big extent, genuinely nice people. There's a few of them who are horses patoots, but for the most part, the people in the game that I've met have been lovely people.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The majority of people I've met are really nice, and that's really a lovely aspect of the game, and one that the first probably 5 years I was in the game, I wasn't social at all. I didn't talk to anybody. I just came in to fly my ships and blow stuff up and do missions. And then a few years ago, I started having some chats with people, and that's led me to a whole new aspect and a new appreciation of the game. And then I get to meet people like you and the other people in our fleet, which really then even take it to the next level and make it really awesome. So
I do love the social aspect of the game, and again, I started out just being very quiet and by myself and just doing my things, getting help from my son, And then I got into this fleet, and they were positive and encouraging and slowly drew me out of my little mom shell and into playing the game enthusiastically. And we've seen people come and go, and for those of you who might be listening to this who haven't been around for a while, we miss you. Folks like Ron and Beardy, I still think you guys every day. So if you're out there, come back. Say hi. And Beardy, you still owe me an orange, Club Orange, excuse me. So we're going to wrap this up in just a couple of minutes here, but I do have a question for you. What is your favorite Star Trek or Star Trek Online moment? If you think of all the things you've experienced in the game, the series, all the series, the movies, the animated series, everything related to Star Trek, is there anything that stands out as a moment that is just unforgettable? Either good or bad.
So I think, oh gosh, there's like so many. I'll give you my top three because which one it is, I don't know. It depends on the day. The episode from the original series where the people on the planet were half black and half white, but if you had that on the opposite sides, you were trying to destroy the other, and their world destroyed themselves. The first time I saw that, it just had so much of a profound effect on me as a child about how silly racism is. And that was an incredibly profound, life-changing moment for me. So in terms of real impact on my life, that's probably my favorite moment.
That's really interesting. And a question for you on that one is, when you were watching it the first time, did you realize that, yes, they are half black and half white, but did you realize there was a difference that, one was on the left, one was on the right, but could you see how that made any difference to them, or was it just so incredibly superficial that it made no sense?
That's what really hit me. It's like, I think Kirk even said it. It's like, well, you guys are both half and half. And he goes, yeah, but he's black on the left, I'm black on the right. And until that moment, I hadn't noticed the difference. Then it's like, oh, okay. So who cares?
Yeah.
What? So he's black on the left, you're black on the right, and you want to kill each other over that? And I just couldn't. It was just this mind-blowing moment where you're like, man, we get wrapped up over the silliest things and find reasons to hate when there's really not anything there. And so just, I don't know. Like I said, it was probably one of the most profound moments in my childhood as far as having long-term life impact.
Wow.
As far as other favorite moments, in Star Trek The Next Generation, I believe it was season 3. I think the episode's called The Traitor. It's where the Romulan Admiral... Oh, it's called The Defector.
Yes.
Where he defects over... I just absolutely love the ending of that episode when he's like, well, Tomalak, are you prepared to die today? And I expected more from you than empty threats. And he goes, then you shall have it now, Mr. Worf. And the Klingon warbirds decloak. It's like, this is the greatest moment ever. This is totally awesome. Like, I love Picard. That was genius. So,
there are moments like that in the game when everything's going wrong and the Enterprise appears behind you. And it's just like, yes, thank you.
So glad you're here.
Yes.
And the other thing that I just absolutely lost my mind on as far as enjoyment was when they did the new Star Trek, when they rebooted with Chris Pine and Quinto, and they showed the young Kirk going through the Kobayashi Maru, and he was eating an apple during the Kobayashi Maru. I mean, the absolute brilliance to have him eating an apple, to tie it to the story from Wrath of Khan, where he talks about it while eating an apple, was just brilliant.
That's really subtle that you caught that. I would say 95% of the people didn't catch that.
Thank you. To me, it was just a brilliant moment where you're like, "Oh, this is so brilliant." I mean, the writing just. I remember just absolutely losing it in the theater, and some of the people looking around me, they were like, "Why is he laughing?" It's like, this is genius. So those are three of my favorite moments. And if you ask me tomorrow, you might get two different answers on that.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, how many series have there been?
Yeah.
And then all the other shows related to it and the games. But I think if there's a common factor behind it is that everybody has the opportunity to see the game and interpret it as they will. It's not limiting to people. It's not attractive to only nerds, though it's darn attractive to us nerds. But it's not that there's something for everyone, but there's something for everyone.
Absolutely. And, and I talked about the show because I had such deep-rooted connections to the shows before, I got into the game. But there's great game moments, too, in some of the different episodes where you're following the storylines. And
oh, yes. These last two episodes have been...
The last two episodes were mind-blowing. The Measure of Morality episodes. Oh, wow. There was so much there that tied to so much in Star Trek lore.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
It seems like every other season, it's amazing. Legacy of Romulus was the one that really got me back into the game seriously. And then the ones with Martok, the Brushfire, I can't remember what the sequence was on that one. Then Victory is Life, and then the Year of the Klingon with these last two episodes has been amazing.
Oh, yeah, and I share your love of Romulus. I mean, New Romulus is amazing. And I love the events, the winter event, we're about to have the summer event on Ryza.
Yes.
And, but those two events are things that I look forward to. They break the routine, and there's something fun and different, stimulating. So I'm totally excited about that.
Me too. Of course, by the time this airs, we will be 4 days into Ryza, so I hope everybody's having fun on Ryza.
We will be having fun by then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I would like to thank you for joining us today. Now, the thing is, even though you did your intro with your name and everything in the very first section, which I did for our test sound, we didn't capture it. So would you like to tell everybody who you are? And you don't have to.
I would be honored to. My name is Scott Stevens.
And you are awesome. I'm very honored to call you one of my friends as well as one of my fleet mates.
And I am equally honored to be your friend and have you as a friend and share our fleet. And thank you for the opportunity to do this. It's been an honor to talk about something that's had such a profound impact on my life.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. For everybody who's out there, if you want to join us and do an interview like this, please give me a little whisper in chat and let's talk. So even though you're Scott, I still call you Harold, because you are Harold to me. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We've got another something coming up right after this. Hang on, and we will be right back. And we are right back with more of the first annual Star Trek Online virtual convention. Ooh, I've got to remember to turn that off. Online Echo. So anyway, that was our interview with Harold. Nice to know that, we actually have some rocket scientists. Well, I don't know if he's a scientist. Rocket people? Space people? I started out back in the day. I was, 6 or 7. I want to say 7 when Star Trek first came out. And I didn't want to go to space then. I had nothing against it, but nowadays, if anyone said, "Would you go to space?" Hell yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I'm probably too old for doing it, but I would still
would
do
prefer
it.
to take a suit and a ship with me.
Okay, yes, that would be helpful. Definitely would be helpful. Hey, speaking of things that you'd like to do, we're going to spend the next hour or so chatting about what would you like to do? What would you like to see in the game? This is not a session for everybody to complain about the things that are going wrong about the game, because, I think we talk about that a lot. And I'm sure there's heck not an apologist for anybody at Star Trek Online, because I have nothing to do with them. I know who the people are, but it's not like they pay any attention to me as anybody special, just as somebody else out there. But, every now and then we have some really, really good ideas, and they do pay attention sometimes, so I thought we could talk about it. But before we say anything, I'm going to do one thing, so just hang on here.